City of Woodford Square, a place that is otherwise known as the People's Parliament, you know, where even government ministers would come and discuss and get the pulse of the people. This is the place. This spot, a man named Morgan Job, he would, whenever he get break in the parliament, my friends, he would come by this. You see this big tree behind me here? And the people will come to hear what he have to say. Morgan Job is one of the men, you know. So I am here. Maybe you could rename this spot the Morgan Job spot. I don't know. Yes, my friends. I am here once again because I've read the newspapers, my friend. And I am seeing here in today's Guardian, the headline, TNT must dream big. Yeah. Well, we all know of the Prime Minister and her government, where they had this conference and they give us a picture of what they think that Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to look like in the future. And, you know, they now, persons in the PNM is claiming that that is a Patrick Manning vision that he had, that he would have had and produced for Trinidad and Tobago, you know. And but that's another issue. You know, but that is what is happening now. People are the quarrel now is whether it was if Kamla Persad came up with that, or if it's the Patrick Manning and the PNM vision, you know. But my friend, you see the word dream? TNT must dream big. To me, that is exactly what it is. At this present time in our country, over 50,000 persons who were employed, my friends, employed, our citizens who were employed, they are unemployed, my friends. The same government that tried to show us this nice image and nice picture of Trinidad and Tobago, whether it's Patrick Manning vision or one that they make up. There are 52,000 persons, my friend. I say 52, but it's more than that, eh? But over 52,000 persons who was employed for the last 10 years and maybe more. When this government came into office, my friends, they dismissed them. They are home, they are unemployed, they are depressed, they are sad, and now Christmas is coming, and rather than come to the people and tell us and tell Trinidad and Tobago, if at all you're going to make some kind of provision so that these people at least will be able to buy something to eat that they could share with the neighbor, maybe the children, my friends. A few days ago, our person from among us was seen on television, my friends, and that is just a section, yeah, of the whole, where they were crying out to the same Prime Minister, asking to give them an opportunity so that they could buy something, buy and spend at least buy something to eat for the Christmas, my friends. They want to have an opportunity to work so that they could buy something for themselves and the children. It's the most vulnerable. What they were working for, my friends, is next to nothing. And you take that away from them, my friend. The poor and those I need. Yeah. If you can't see about these people, if you as a government cannot take care of that kind of people in our country, what dream you're coming to sell us, my friends? What dream? What building you want to show us? My friends, the people in this country, a few months ago, you told them that when you win, when the UNC win, they will not lose. Everybody will win, my friends. Everybody will win. You dismiss these people. 5, 6 months now, and no work, no provision has been made to care for them and the family, my friends. What kind of country is this? And then you come in to show them as a concrete structure that they can't even get things to eat. Christmas coming, and that's Christmas, my friends. That's to live. That's to live. What level of dunces is I see in here, my friends? The basic needs of the people cannot be met. The basic needs, my friends. The government has taken away the ability of the most vulnerable in our society to the dignity, my friends, and have them begging on the streets, have them begging in the community, have them begging on our television, my friends. Begging. And coming and telling me about and trying to sell me a dream. You see, my friend, you see the paper there? Dream? You see this? That is what it is. The Prime Minister must come and tell us, my friends, because she has been lying to us. She has been lying to us from the very beginning. And the lies continue. Come and tell Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, what is the effect? What is the effect of Standard & Poor's downgrading our two main banks and our country, my friends? What kind of a negative effect that is going to have on our economy? Come and tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago the 15% tariff that America and Donald Trump, our friend, our ally, would have placed on Trinidad and Tobago. Come and tell us what kind of negative effect that is going to have and is having on the business community in this country, my friends. Come and tell us what kind of pie in the sky dotations is I see on the papers here, my friends. Come and tell us, my friends, the former Minister of Finance, I'm not calling him but, who had a short stint in government with a man called Stuart Young as the Prime Minister, maybe for a few months. When he left office, he questioned a report that he saw on the central bank website, my friends. And he asked about a missing $600 million US, my friends, that the Minister of Finance, even in the standing committee, and the government refused to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago this $600 million US as part of our reserve. Who have it? Who gone with it? My friends, these are the questions that the Prime Minister, who was telling us about transparency and accountability, my friends, must come and explain to the people. Because let me tell you something. Just yesterday, I saw a clipping where a man called Stuart Young is now declaring that 400 million US has also been taken from the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. So that's $1 billion US, my friends. $1 billion US already in 5 months. And they come in to show you some pictures, some building. And my friends, the last time I see this kind of madness, I see on the papers here, dotations and drunkenness, my friends. Farley Augustine sent a man called Watson Duke to represent the people of Tobago in Dubai. Yeah. And when Watson Duke come back, he come back with a picture at Charlottesville. You want to know what country that is? I said that tons and dotage people all about the place, my friends. They're not in touch with reality. People does not have money to buy sugar and milk and butter and bread, my friends. They don't have. They're begging. My friends, our economy is on the brink of crashing. These are the things that the Prime Minister must come and tell us what steps she's taking or have taken to prevent that, my friends. No investor coming here. You investor coming here. We in the middle of apparently a war that is going to start sometime. We don't know if it will start, when it will start, and what the effect of that war will be. You come in here with a picture of Trinidad and Tobago in the next 1,000 years? My friends, our Prime Minister, I said to you all before, she's not in touch with reality. She's mentally ill. Our Prime Minister is delusional, my friends. I once said and asked, I told them, we have a man called Dr. Nokolo, get in contact with him and let him come and take her to and somebody, either he go or she go or somebody. That's the same amount of money when they came in office in 2010, my friends. They saw the treasury had that kind of money and decided to go and build the highway and the thief all the money. And the last billion, the 970 million, my friends, the last working day before the election in 2015, they remove a clause in the contract and let their friends go with $1 billion that doesn't belong to them or the friends, my friends. Isn't that you have to wait till you leave office again to find out about this 7 billion TT or $1 billion US? The opposition in this country must use all the mechanism it have, and they would know, and come get the information and bring it to the people. Because me and you in the streets don't know who gone with it, you know. The people of Trinidad and Tobago wants to know about that $1 billion US. My friends, because it was not spent on the people, you know. They dismissed the people from the jobs. 52,000 people and more have lost their jobs since they came in office, my friends. So the monies was not spent on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Same way, they went to the parliament, my friends, in June, 2 months after they came into office, because they wanted monies. They put up a case that we need money to continue the programs so that they could pay the workers and keep people in the jobs. The CPEP, the ERP, as soon as the budget, as soon as they voted and they get the money, they fire the people and them and call them ghosts, my friends. So the monies, this $1 billion US added to that. The monies that they allocated in the parliament and came and tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, showing documentation why they should get these monies. So that missing, and $1 billion US on top of that we know of, my friends. $1 billion US. And our citizens can't get nothing for the Christmas, my friends. No recession, no pandemic, my friends. Yeah. What we have, my friends, is a plague. What we have in this country at this present time, my friends, is a plague. And they're telling you in the newspaper you have to dream. Dream. You can imagine that? Our Prime Minister said our oil and gas and energy problems will be solved because Venezuela, Guyana and Grenada have the oil and gas that is needed, and we're going to get it. So she knew before she even came in office that there's a need for the energy sector to get oil and gas, and we don't have it. The Guyanese president and whoever, they wanted to know what is she drinking in Port of Spain. Yeah? The Grenada Prime Minister had to go and answer a question by the people in Grenada asking what is she talking about. He and all poor fella, you know what she talking about. After 10 years in opposition, that was a big statement. And she mind, my friends. She believed that even if they had, it's for she. That is the same Prime Minister in 2010 tell the Grenadians and the Guyanese and the Jamaicans, do not come and call on Trinidad and Tobago. We are not an ATM machine, my friends. That is the same woman, that is the same Prime Minister. She told my cousin and them in Grenada that Grenada, listen to all this, don't come here. Don't come here. But she went crawling and begging to them for the oil and gas, my friends. They tell she, you know what she's talking about. Well, don't talk about them people in Guyana. Yeah? Yeah. Then, when she realized, like, Grenada and Guyana tell she, don't come here. Don't come here. She went quietly, my friends, on the 19th of May, a few days after she came into office, and wrote to America, begging them, crawling to them, begging for the OFAC license that was revoked, my friends, that she was fighting to have revoked when Dr. Rowley and Stuart Young and these people was trying to bring it home for our country, so that she and the dunce people who following she could benefit also. Yeah, she went crawling and begging, and while applying, she continued saying that it dead. The PNM Dragon gas deal, my friends, it dead, and went and applied for it. Yeah, without first getting in contact with Maduro. I say, Anna, I'm thinking about, you see all them things I say about you? Partner, I'm sorry. But we need them gas. I'm going to see. Nothing like that. Yeah. Nothing like that. She came back down here. Big announcement. Yeah. She afraid to come and talk. Handed the Attorney General. Yeah. Imagine that. You have a Minister of Energy and the Prime Minister, and they're afraid to come and tell people about the OFAC license. They hand this one they call John Jeremy. Yeah. Like all of them like a dunce. Yeah. He telling we that's our business, you know. We telling we that secret. Yeah. Why you tell the Venezuelan Vice President Ms. Delcy Rodriguez? Why you ask you? Well, how you could come and tell people that and that's a secret? Why you going to tell she that? Yeah. She said they come begging and crawling, my friends. Yeah. She said they came crawling and begging, crawling like a worm. That is in the newspaper in Venezuela. It's in the newspaper in Trinidad and Tobago, the Guardian. Yeah. In the parliament in Venezuela. Yeah. They said she's drunk, a drunkard. Yeah. Yeah. You know why? You know why they couldn't tell us what the license entailed, my friends? Yeah. We'll never know. But we must thank the Venezuelan Vice President, Ms. Delcy Rodriguez, my friends. Yeah. She said they came to get billions of dollars in our oil and gas. Yeah. For free. And we who own it mustn't get none. She could have tell me that. Is what we're going to tell me that what we're going to Venezuela and do. Yeah. Tell us, I'm going to Venezuela because I'm going to get billions of dollars for our economy. We have to continue living good. Our economy must look good. We have what kind of plans. We have to redo Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, new thing to build, new waterfront, new. Tell we, it's a secret. Now, the behaving like if we don't need no oil and gas, my friends. And this is what she's supposed to come and tell us now. Now that they told her and she has been exposed as one who was crawling, my friends. Crawling in Venezuela. Yeah. Yeah. And they dismiss her. Yeah. Persona non grata. Listen. But, well, my friends, whatever it means, she's a nobody. She's non-existent. She can't go back. She can't go to Venezuela. That's a prime minister in our country, you know. Yeah. Well, we had to do our research and find out who else, what other prime minister that ever happened to. Yeah. My friends, and they're telling us and the people that was dismissed and fired, they're telling us and trying to sell us now a dream big. Dream big. My friends, your basic needs must be met. And if the basic needs are not met, and the people of this country, you cannot meet their basic needs, then what building you're talking about? What skyscraper you're talking about, my friends? That is a disaster you're talking about. What you're speaking about is a disaster. You cannot find monies. $100 million was removed from the budget for the Ministry of Health to run the health institution in this country. $100 million, my friends. Less than when the PNM under Dr. Rowley was in office during a pandemic, my friends. During a pandemic and a recession. No recession, no pandemic, but $100 million from the health budget, yeah, has been removed. But you're coming to tell people, trying to sell people a pie in the sky. My friends, not long after Kamala Prasad took office, she made a big announcement to her followers and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. There's a term that she does use and her followers does use to describe the Syrian Lebanese community in this country, my friends. There's a term that they describe these people, a derogatory term. I would not repeat that term here. We all know what it is. A term that they use to describe the Syrian Lebanese community in this country is a derogatory term because them people, they are not citizens of this country. Yes, yes. But you know, it's the same people in the newspaper here, the people that she was calling and have been calling and her supporters have been calling and using these derogatory terms and names to call them. She gone crawling and begging them people too. She gone crawling and begging the same people. What is happening with our country, my friends? When she, a few days ago, right after she came in office, she said, hey, all you know, one of them came, I don't know, one of them from the Syrian Lebanese community, they came and they went in Invaders Bay. Eh? And they're jumping up and they're clapping. Yeah? Using the derogatory name and term to describe the person who came to her to do business in Invaders Bay, my friends. Look at the papers on them and see what people she hugging up at this very moment. The same people, my friends. The same way how she'll speak our CARICOM people and gone begging by them. The same way she'll speak the Syrian Lebanese community, and now she gone begging and crawling, my friend. I tell you that begging, crawling, lying prime minister we have. Is this a joke I'm making? That is mentally ill. My friends, our prime minister replaced Donald Trump as the person who has been blowing up these who fighting fire with fire and firing at both anything and going to the United Nations and said, we doing it. Yeah. Yeah, we will fight fire with fire. Yeah, what fight we fighting, my friends? Who we fighting with? Who? Which one of our Coast Guard, our Defense Force? Which one? Which human? Which personnel? Which equipment was used? Yeah. None. Yeah. She couldn't go to the United Nations and thank Donald Trump, even if she thinks it's a good job he's doing, and thank him and thank him and thank him and say yes and no. My friends, that is sickness. Yeah. And it continuing, my friends. She saw herself on the grand stage. Yeah. Letting the world know how important she is. Yeah. And the work that she is doing, she involved you know, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, and she done this and she stupidness, you know. That's how we know in real trouble with Venezuela, the world largest oil and gas reserve in the world, our neighbors. You can imagine that? Yeah. But I want to tell Donald Trump, President Trump, I am hearing and I've read where you have a problem with Christians being killed in Nigeria, and you intend to stop or do something to stop the killings of the Christian community or Christians in Nigeria. I just want to tell Donald Trump, President Trump, the people, you see, Venezuela is a Christian country, you know. Venezuela, the main religion there is Christianity, you know. 30 million people, and whoever leave, their religion is Christians. So I just want President Trump to give that some thought, because over a period, over some years, the record, according to what was released, that about 4,000, close to 4,000 Christians have lost their lives, and maybe because they are Christians, right? And that have him disturbed. But if a bomb from one of the ships or the plane drop in Venezuela, how much Christians will die with one bomb? President Trump, how much Christians will die with just one bomb in Venezuela? One. It have over 30 million people home there. Christians. Yeah. So I know that the President of America is a consistent man. Yeah. And he means well, and he loves Christians. The religion of the government that is in charge in Trinidad and Tobago is Hindus. President Trump, the religion of the government that is in charge in Trinidad and Tobago are Hindus. And the record shows that Hindus are people who would have persecuted Christians, not in Trinidad, but outside of here, around the world. And they will have no problem. They will have no problem if all those people in Venezuela are killed, Christians, for their resources. Yeah. Yeah. So I am just sharing my thoughts with the President of America, reminding him that the main religion in Venezuela is Christianity. Yeah. Yeah. So I would like him to check that before, because I know you love Christians and you love the Jews, Israel, and the Bible. But there are people who are anti-Christians, my friends. President, They are anti-Christians. Yeah. And they would love to see the Christians in Venezuela destroyed. Christians with the bombs of America, my friends. Yeah. Yeah. Trinidad and Tobago, the opposition in our country must come to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and explain to us what steps they are taking to find out and to trace where this missing billion US gone. Because our people have been dismissed from the jobs, they are unemployed, there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. They're not getting anything. So then who gone with those that billion US, my friends? Let me tell you something. When Kamla Persad Bissessa was in opposition for the last 10 years, she had a problem that she keeps saying that there is a cartel, a forex cartel, my friends, a foreign USA cartel, yeah, where a handful of people would be given the US and it's not reaching the people, the ordinary man. It's not reaching, my friends. That was a cry. She removed the Governor General at the Central Bank and placed her own Governor General of the Central Bank, who was the Finance Minister in 2010 with herself. A man called Larry Hawaii, who was the Finance Minister in 2010 with the UNC. Kamla Persad Bissessa was the Prime Minister. So she take her own Finance Minister and place him in the Treasury, charge of the Treasury, my friends, to find out and to report back the names and the cartel that exists, that have been stealing or keeping the US among themselves. So for years she has been telling this story to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, including the dunce followers that she have following her blindly all about the place. Larry Hawaii reported back to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That is the Governor General that she installed in the Treasury, my friends. He said no foreign exchange cartel exists. And he went on to explain what would have caused the foreign exchange problem or situation in this country. One of our government ministers, you know what was his response? He said, not because Larry Hawaii can't find. Now that is the man who in charge with all the records and who get what and who ain't getting and everything in the right treasury there. You know? He said not because Larry Hawaii can't find the cartel and members of the cartel, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So how you please these people? How you could please them with the kind of sickness they have in their head, my friends? The kind of nastiness they have in their own governor of the central bank said none exists. Eh? After doing whatever research you had to do and checking whatever record you had to check, he report back. I don't know if he's a PNM. Maybe he might be PNM. Yeah. That them now is saying, this minister is saying, not because he can't find it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Now, $1 billion of the same US missing under Kamla Persad Bissessa and the same government who was speaking about cartel and the money and the man in the street, nobody ain't getting any. And nobody could report back and tell us where the money gone. $1 billion US in 5 months. $1 billion US, my friends. in 5 months. Yeah. Trinidad and Tobago, in the corporations, where mostly African people reside and work, the money that was allocated under the PNM across the board, in the Indian community, where they control the corporation, them and the PNM get almost the same amount of money by PNM-led Dr. Rowley and Imbut. The same amount of money to run the affairs of each corporation. The UNC came in office, my friends, and decided that they will not stop targeting black people and seeing how best they could damage them and to continue to damage them, my friends. That they know the allocations have been removed, sent less, some 15 million, in some cases $15 million less to run the corporation where African people are in the majority. And in the same community where the East Indian is in the majority, my friends, their corporation has been increased by 20 million and more. Government sponsored racism, my friends. Racial discrimination. Racial discrimination, my friends. That is what it is. Or somebody correct me. I correct me. Tell me what word to use. My friends, this is the same Prime Minister who is telling, when she laid out the developmental plan, she said, well, the workforce, so it had to get skilled people. That the same Prime Minister in 2010 closed down all the trade schools, the youth camps, and the trade schools and them, my friends. Yeah, that is where, if you didn't have if you're not so bright, with academically speaking, and books and wherever, you do a trade, so you're able to help yourself and assist in the GDP of the country, my friends. You contribute in a meaningful way, and you could see about your family in the process. She shut down all. On top of that, now that is children who may have had problems and had, you know, the learning process at different stages, the developmental is not the same with everyone. We don't learn at the same speed and the same rate, my friends. She came up in 2010 with a thing called, even before, universal education. Yeah. And believe it's about books and computer. Yeah. Close down all the schools and them. Yeah. The people or the children who would be part of that system, my friends, was children of African descent in the majority. When Kamla Prasad Bisesa came into office in 2010, my friends, she met African people with businesses, my friends, in a place called Shagville, down Chaguaramas, my friends. Shagville Beach, beachfront. You know, when you go Marcus, you're going to get your bacon shack, and then people have the business there. African people, my friends, had the businesses, and good business. Yeah. During the week, on a weekend, the beach full of people and business growing, my friends. Till the Syrian Lebanese community, they bring a KFC and on the beach and all. Yeah. You know what she did? She take away the beachfront, and the whole beachfront from the people of Trinidad and Tobago, my friends. Disenfranchise the African people who had the businesses there. Yeah. On that same Shagville Beach, my friends. And when that wasn't enough, it have some African people still have some land that they farming in a place called Guave Road in Chaguaramas. She made an attempt to take that from them too. She made an attempt to take the Guave land, the Guave farmers from in Guave Road in Chaguaramas there, because black people must have nothing, my friends. It's a protest, a march that caused she, yeah, to turn away from it. But she ain't done, my friends. Feel it done? Then look around. Look around, and who are the people from the time they came into office, my friends, have been advantage have been taken on them. Advantage. Yeah. The advantageous woman. Yeah. 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 And she feel that she could have leave here and go Venezuela and treat them like that. That's what she felt. That she could have leave here and go Venezuela and do them that same thing. Yeah. Yeah. My friends, our Prime Minister is not well. She's not well. From the time, at this time in our country, when our energy sector, my friends, is shutting down. Our energy sector, my friends, is operating at about 35%, my friends. Our energy sector, yeah, is operating at about 35%, my friends. Yeah. When they came in, it was functioning at 40%. At 40. No, that was 35%, my friends. And those foreign companies that would have been bringing foreign forex and foreign use, foreign exchange to us and our stabilization fund to keep it, they're now looking at pulling out. Yeah. They are looking at pulling out. This is the discussion that Kamla Persad-Bissessar must come to the people and explain, because she was willing to explain or at least make statement about the importance of oil and gas when she was being sworn in as Prime Minister. What has happened then? Come and tell us what has happened. A lot has happened. And she's afraid to come and address the matter. She's afraid, my friends. She's a dunce. And believe that she could hide behind any kind of dotage and stupidness. Come and tell us. Come and talk to us. Yeah? Come and tell us why 2 budgets have been read and public servants have not had their 10% that they promised of starting at 10%, and the back pay, the billions of dollars that you promised that you're going to find the money. Where's the money? Where is it coming from? Come and tell us. Come and tell us if it's our local downgraded banks you're going to take it from. Come and tell us if it's the same banks that you would have levied on and put a tax on them, and then hoping that it will pass on the tax and the charges to the ordinary man in the street. Yeah, hoping, or ever anything like that. Imagine the bank doesn't need nobody to do them anything for them to raise charges and raise this and raise that. Eh? The government impose some taxes on the bank, and then they're saying, well, we hope so the bank will lose. So the first time the bank going to lose. My friends, that is a charge that's going to come onto the people if it didn't come yet. The cost of banking, doing business in the bank, will go up. That is besides light bill going up for commercial and business places that already starting to see the effect. Because the light bill, the gas bill gone up, my friends, the NIS gone up, the rent gone up, like business places they're talking about. Yeah? And when the business and them closing down now, she's saying, oh, you see, because the cocaine ain't coming, these businesses closing down. Kamla Persad-Bissessar is saying that the reason why businesses closing down, what Jem? So you know now who was involved in cocaine. That is what she's telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago, my friends. That is our evidence. Yeah. That is our evidence. Yeah. When business closed down, look, you can imagine that? That the Prime Minister, Trinidad and Tobago, our country, our people are the vulnerable among us. My friends, I saw, and we all saw it. I met some people in some store when they had the thing, the traffic jam all over the place with the stupidness where they're saying like if America going and bomb and the government did that to prevent people from gathering because they saw or the social media saying there's some protests coming up. So they start their own propaganda and people could have died on the way trying to get home and could have died, my friends. That is governance for your money. They're afraid of the very citizens that they claim that they're representing. They don't want to hear the voice of the people. Yeah. Yeah. Every day, people killing people and shooting people, robbing people, and they're saying the SOE working. What the SOE really was supposed to do? Every day, and they're going and tell people the SOE, my friends, every day they're shooting and murdering and robbing and breaking and kidnapping every day. Yeah. Who they looking for? Yeah. The crime plan is to shoot them in the back. Yeah. Yeah. And put the police in the school. Well, that has failed. That has failed. So the next plan, the next best thing is to get the soldiers and join patrol in the schools. And we could add the prison officers too. So we go make it a prison one time. So what we have to do, my friend, it shows the level of dunceness of the people in charge. This is how they decide. Imagine our minister, whatever they call him, Homeland Security, because in America, you know, he is saying to treat the children as adults because a child is no longer a child because of their failure, you know. Their failure. They don't understand. They don't understand nothing about children growth and development stages and how they should be treated. Nothing at all. They don't understand the psychology, the social impact that the Facebook and the internet having on the young people. They don't understand anything. But they just feel that they could just grab something and cover it and say, right, that's it. It's gone away. Gone away what? In the news, the children in the school lock up police in a room, police in a school, and they lock in a room. They put the police in a jail. In Trinidad. And the commissioner, happy, like if he winning something. Yeah. He winning. If these are the things that is happening, my friends, in an SOE, well, they better keep the SOE until next 10 years, you know. Because there's no different and like it getting worse. So keep the SOE, keep it. Don't just keep it. Let me live like that. Yeah. If that is what they call an improvement and crime plan, my friends. Trinidad and Tobago, we are in a sad place and our economy is in the drain. Just go through some of these malls and you would see the certain compartment empty and it's emptying. Well, the rum shop on them, my friends, this might be the last Christmas because they will fight because Christmas people still want to drink. So they might get a thing, but after that, my friends, the bars and the rum shop, they will start to close down because them too depend on the drug trade and cocaine. Yeah. Every time you close your business now, it's because the drugs ain't coming to keep your business afloat. Kamla Pasabi said that. That's the level of dunceness we're dealing with, my friends. You know. Trinidad and Tobago, have a nice evening. Thanks for giving me a hearing on this nice evening here, you know. Yeah. And I'll be back with you again sometime shortly. Keep good and God bless. Thank you.